Hello, Aquarians. Welcome to Souls Intersect. I have your October of 2016 intuitive tarot reading. I'm going to be doing an extended reading for you this month because I didn't get a chance to put out that second intuitive reading that I did for the other signs last month. So at the end, after I finish reading the cards, I'm going to call in any additional intuitive messages that come in for you. If you're interested in a private reading, please email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com. And if you're watching this while it's still September, I do have 2 specials going. And if you follow the link to my site, you can see those listed there. Okay, so I'm seeing a theme for you this month that is related to lessons and learning lessons. For some of you, I feel like that might be playing out in terms of actual school, maybe the returning to school because it's fall, or going back to school. Maybe some of you have been away from it for some time. But in general, it could also be broader spiritual lessons because of circumstances that you're experiencing right now. I feel that there is something that a lot of you are working on. It could be a project that you're developing, working on an independent business, something with, maybe if you work for a company, some sort of new project or something like that. And it's something that you've been putting a lot of effort into for some time. And I get the sense that you're experiencing some delays, like things are not coming to fruition for you as quickly as you wanted and expected. And I get the sense that there is a good deal of worry also happening around that. And for some of you, I feel that you may be experiencing it quite extremely, like I'm hearing mental anguish. So it's just worrying yourself to the point of feeling almost sick over it. And for some of you, that will be less. It's more just worrying and having anxiety about all the time and effort that you've been putting into something and not seeing the results yet that you have been wanting. I also feel that for some of you, this may be related to relationships. So possibly doing some reviewing of some emotional experiences that you've had recently or in past relationships, and wanting to see yourself growing from that, but not quite feeling like you're there yet, feeling like maybe things are standing still in terms of getting over something or learning what you need to from something. I'm even getting the sense that some of you have been asking for signs about, why something happened to you. What is it that you were supposed to have learned from a past experience? And it could be very recent that you haven't quite grasped yet, that hasn't allowed you to fully move forward, and you're wanting that. And I am sensing some frustration, mainly about delays. And the overall sense that I'm getting, especially these 3 cards together at the top right, the Hierophant and the 2 of Wands, and also the Magician, I'm getting the sense that all of this is happening the way it's happening for a reason. And I know that sounds cliche, and it's not always comforting to hear that, especially when you are experiencing delays. But it's important to know that there is something that you're meant to gain from this, and it may be, whatever that something is, may just need the extra time right now to fully develop, to be fully understood. And I also get the sense that you may be feeling like there's some other people, it feels like, involved in this to a certain extent. I'm really drawn to this Queen of Wands. So I'm getting the sense from that a couple of messages came through. So the first one was in regard to the learning that I was mentioning. The mental worry, I'll come back to the Queen of Wands, the mental worry that you're feeling, that a lot of you are experiencing right now, there's a couple of things that are being recommended that you do to help with that. And the first one is to keep busy. So to keep working on this project that you're working on, because that is putting more energy into it, and it's only going to help bring the results sooner, whereas the worry may actually delay. Ultimately, you're going to get rewarded for what you do, I feel, but the worry can cause further delays, whereas putting the energy into it is going to help it develop, whatever it is. And the other suggestion from guidance is that, because of course you don't want to just work yourself to death, so you can't always be working on it. If you feel that you're really in a mental space where you need to be having a conversation with yourself or thinking some things through, if you feel like that's turning towards worry, the message is to try to be constructive then mentally about what lessons it is you think you might be learning, and maybe even keeping lists or keeping a diary to help keep track of what has been coming through for you. It will really help to move things along, it feels like, to acknowledge any lessons that you're learning and things that you've learned through this process, because it just feels like that's confirmation back to spirit that you're absorbing this and willing to be constructive about it. Okay, so coming back to the Queen of Wands, I sense for some of you that there's a couple things. It does feel like another person. It feels like for some of you it may be a romantic interest, and for some of you it may be someone that you're either partnering with or working on whatever this is with, or someone that you've turned to for guidance and support, possibly advice. So in terms of it being a person that you're partnering with, I almost get the sense that this person is, so they seem really positive and like they try to be helpful and try to inspire you, and that it seems like that almost annoys you at times. And there's times where you wish you were able to be doing it solo to avoid that, just to be able to go at your own pace and to tap into your own inspiration when you want to without this person. It feels like a little bit like they can push a little bit, and they have good intentions. It feels like, again, they're really a positive influence, but that it can be frustrating sometimes. So what's interesting there is that I do feel like this person is intentionally there as well, because I'm getting the sense that for some of you, like, it might be a contract or it may be a commitment, just a mutual commitment where you're kind of stuck with them right now, and you just have to be working with them on this for whatever reason. And that I feel that's for a reason. So even though it's frustrating to you, I do get the sense that they are there to help light a fire under you. And it's not that you wouldn't be able to be inspired on your own, but I feel that positive influence is necessary for you, although it can be frustrating right now. It feels like they can also maybe micromanage a little bit, something along those lines, and that can be extra frustrating. And that is perfectly understandable. It's kind of like the downside of this person, but the upside is that they are inspiring you. They're helping emphasize your own inspiration, and you may not quite be realizing it. So it might also do good to take some time to account for that, to recognize the good that this person may be doing. In terms of a romantic partnership, for a lot of you it feels like it's someone you're already with, but it may also be someone that's kind of maybe waiting in the wings for you or wanting to move something forward with you. And it does feel like work is intertwined in some way, that the delays because of whatever you're waiting for are playing into this as well. So the person feels frustrated that there's delays, and it's for two reasons. One is because they want that time with you. They want that energy spent on them. And the other reason is that they also want to see this come to fruition for you. So there's a couple things there, and it also further complicates things. But going back to those lessons, it feels like all of these things are coming together for you. So the delays and the mental worry and the challenges around that you're facing, and then the third party being involved and the challenges that that's bringing about are all kind of coming together to help you learn to manage these things, because it does feel like whatever this is, I feel like you're moving up. I feel like something is, you are going to see the rewards of this. The business, if it's a business, is going to get busier. I feel like you're going to excel more if it's education. I feel like the project is going to be successful if it's that. Whatever it is, it feels like it's going to get bigger and that you may only get busier. And so having these challenges right now, including the delay, are teaching you to be able to juggle and manage those things and multitask in a way so that you can be more successful at it later. So it's almost a gift from the universe to have this time to be able to learn to manage these things, because again, they're going to be valuable lessons that you will use later when things really pick up. So that's what I'm feeling with that. Okay. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to raise the vibration. And now, apart from the cards, I'm just going to call in any intuitive messages that come through, and I'll see if I visualize anything that comes through visually for me, and I will share the message with you. Okay, what I'm seeing is interesting. I'm seeing like a water sack. It's interesting because that's Aquarius as well, the water bearer, but it's almost looking like one of those camelback things or something that you would use. It does look old-fashioned, really, really old, like it's made out of leather almost. For some of you, I feel like that's bringing in something from a past life, but it's showing me that in a way it's about hydration, and the way that you may need to pace yourself and kind of slowly hydrate over time to make sure that you are getting the water that you need to at the rate that you need to, without having too much at once. And the message there is very much about pacing yourself as well. So part of, and I think it plays back into what we saw with the cards, part of this is also learning lessons of managing your own energy levels. So it's not, necessarily about water, though that may be literal for some of you. So take that into account as well. But it's about learning to take care of your energy levels and making sure that you're not overextending yourself in one area and then not giving enough to another area, and that you're also getting enough rest in. And remember that with the mental, the worrying, that doesn't count as rest. So even if it happens in your downtime, that's not the rest that you need to be getting to be able to balance this. So this is an extra message for you, just about more your physical state, but also the mental state of balancing that and managing that more and pacing yourself, because that's also something that you're going to need more of even later when things do start to get busier for you. Okay. Let me see what else comes through. Okay. Yeah, I'm also seeing, it feels like a similar message in a different way. I'm seeing an orchestra conductor managing the volume level of the different sections of the orchestra. And with all of these, for some of you, there may be some literal aspect to that in terms of playing music. But once again, it feels to me like it's all about that. It's all about managing the levels of something. And it could also be, it could be money, it could be financial, definitely energy levels. It could even be the way that you express yourself, possibly with this other person, and managing your time as well. It feels like there's major lessons here to be learned in regard to making sure that there's not too much all at once, and especially in one area, and balancing things. Like I'm thinking of that 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, 8 hours of leisure time or time spent with family, that's kind of coming into my mind too. So it's definitely about time management, but also in terms of energy levels. So I don't know what it is that some of you are working on, but it definitely feels like something that's going to be successful and pick up, because these are things that you're going to ultimately need later to be able to be the best version of yourself, to continue to be successful at whatever it is. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to leave me comments or email me at soulsintersect@gmail.com. Thank you.